Hey, this is Ify of Ify360 TV and I am back with another video, but this time I'm going to talk about store-bought coconut oil versus homemade coconut oil and your hair. But before we get started, I want you to hit that like button and get this video to 69 likes. Where should I start? Well, first of all, my hair is, this is a twist out actually. Not a flat twist out, just regular twist. Like you saw in my how I moisturize my hair video. That's the same twist. And they lasted about 2 weeks. And this is what it looks like after 2 weeks. And as you can guess, it's just before wash day, so my hair is out like this. So yeah. As some of you may know, I have a coconut oil video, a homemade DIY coconut oil video on my channel, how to make coconut oil, and it's one of my most popular videos actually. I started making coconut oil in 2013. Yeah, 2013, I learned how to make coconut oil on my own while I was living in the Bahamas. Started making it, I started using it on my hair, my skin, to brush my teeth, to oil pulling, to make my whipped shea butter. I use it for cooking, for baking, toothpaste, deodorant, so many things. Oh, sunscreens. I sunbathed a lot in the Bahamas and I used the coconut oil on my skin. My skin used to be so healthy. I just really bathed in that coconut oil, like everything possible I used coconut oil for. Not too long after I started my 2 years later, about 2 years later, I started my channel and I shared coconut oil with you and that sort of thing. I almost didn't even put that video up. It's amazing to see how well that video has done and how many people have benefited from seeing how I make coconut oil. So that was really inspiring and motivating for me to keep going on my channel. The reason why I learned to make coconut oil because it was so expensive. To me, it was more expensive to buy it than to make it. The coconuts that you use to make coconut oil, it was a lot cheaper to buy them and then make it because you use almost every part of the coconut. You use the meat, you use the water, the only thing I threw away was the shell. I even used the coconut meat that was left over from making the coconut oil. I made coconut flour. So it was really good to see that I was able to save a lot more and have a healthier lifestyle because of coconut oil. But I started to see on the internet even back then, and a lot of people weren't agreeing with coconut oil. Like they were either allergic or their body wasn't reacting well to using it, whether they're using it in their hair or their hair wasn't benefiting from using coconut oil. So I always wondered, how is that possible? How can you not use coconut oil? How could you be allergic to it? How could your hair not love coconut oil? I never understood that until I moved to China. Let me explain. So I moved to China in October 2015. I couldn't find dried coconuts to make coconut oil as readily and as easily as I would in the Bahamas. If I did find it, it was more expensive, like really expensive. I didn't bother to buy them. I didn't bother to make my coconut oil. I was like, hey, what? Let me just buy coconut oil. As the first few brands I used about 3 different brands since I've been here. The first 2 brands that I used, they were okay until I started using a certain brand, and I will probably insert a clip here so you can see which one I was using. I didn't really think of it much. I didn't really think though. I was like, okay, cool, coconut oil. I didn't really think like, hey, you know what, this might be different. I didn't really think that. Now remember, when you're making coconut oil at home, you know what's in it. You know what's being used, and it really isn't much. It's only water and coconut. And if you're using a juicer, but like an omega juicer, you're not even using any water. You just have the rich raw coconut milk and you use that to make your coconut oil. But the thing about store-bought coconut oil, you don't know what they're using to make it. You don't know the process. You don't know if there are any additives. They may not say they're additives, but how do we know? You don't know if they're mixing the oils with other things. You just don't know the process. When you have the opportunity to make coconut oil for yourself and then you use store-bought coconut oil, you start to realize there's a drastic difference between the two. Homemade coconut oil, it has a rich, sweet coconut scent that it's so delicious. Like the scent is delicious. It's when you touch it, it's smooth to the touch. It's when you glide it along your hair feels smoother. You actually feel like there's a difference in the way your hair behaves. My hair was always shinier, it was fuller, it was full of life. My hair loved homemade coconut oil. And it's just richer. It's It's silkier to the touch. It's kind of velvety. When you make it, you just realize there's a thickness. Coconut oil, buy it. I'm not saying all store-bought coconut oils, but the particular brand the last one that I used, it was the opposite. Like, it felt kind of watery. It felt kind of watered down. I'm not saying it had water in it, but whatever process they probably used to make coconut oil, it was just not the same as when I would make it at home. But I chugged along. I still continued using the coconut oil. And when Natural85 posted her video about the fact that she stopped using coconut oil, I started to think, and I was like, I didn't really think of that. The fact that she was going through a lot of hair loss, she was going through a lot of dryness, and I started to think. And I was practically finished this entire jar. It was 680 milliliters of coconut oil that I had bought and I had used. My hair has been a lot drier, like really, really dry. I would use coconut oil on it, like, and even when you use homemade coconut oil, you don't need a lot. You use a little bit and it goes a long way, and your hair feels enriched. It feels like it got nourishment, and you don't need to add a lot. But I felt as though when I use this particular store brand of coconut oil, no matter how much oil I put on my hair never felt like it was absorbing it. It always felt as though the coconut oil was resting on my hair, but it never felt moisturized. I always felt as though, oh my god, I need to put more, and I need to put more, and I need to put more coconut oil from the store-bought brand, and I need to put more. And like, no matter how much I put, my hair never felt like it got enough. Practically finished the jar by the time I figured this out. This was the last jar I bought. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna fight down trying to use coconut oil. I'm going to wait until I have the opportunity to go to wherever I end up living, and I will make my coconut oil again when I have that chance. And until then, I would find other oils to use that either give me a similar result making my coconut oil or otherwise. And I'm okay with that. Like, I honestly didn't even think that there would be a problem with that oil. My hair was different. It was drier. It felt like straw. It felt like hay. It felt dry. It just felt so dry, and it got tangled a lot. It was matted sometimes, and I think because I knew what coconut oil meant to me from making it at home and having my own homemade coconut oil back in the Bahamas, I just had this notion that, hey, you know what? This coconut oil that I buy at the store is just going to be the same, you know? But it didn't turn out to be the case. I also want to mention that the problem may not be coconut oil on the whole, but the type of coconut oil that you use. If you get the opportunity to use coconut oil that you've made at home for yourself and you know exactly what's in it, you would see a difference. And I've gotten a lot of comments from a lot of people who attempted to make, those who've seen my DIY homemade coconut oil tutorial and they've made it for themselves. They actually want to let me know, hey, you know what, Dre, this is the best thing. They really enjoyed the process of making it, and they didn't realize how easy it was, and they didn't realize how simple it was to make. It's just a long process, that's all. They've gotten a lot of great results from it. But if you get the opportunity to make coconut oil on your own, you would see a huge difference. So don't count coconut oil totally out of your life. Give yourself a chance with the homemade and see and observe the difference in how your hair reacts, and even the feel of it. You know, it feels totally different. I don't know if anybody's ever tested homemade coconut oil and tested store-bought coconut oils, different brands, and they've seen like a difference in the chemistry or the breakdown or the contents. That would be really cool to figure out. I know there are some chemists, my natural girls, they're chemist majors out there. Maybe you can do a test on the different coconut oils and see what you come up with. Maybe we might find out that, hey, you know what they're selling us in those stores ain't purely coconut oil. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it. Allegedly, apparently, supposedly, I don't know. I want you all to let me know in the comments below. Have you tried homemade coconut oil and then store-bought coconut oil and seen a huge difference? Have you seen a difference in that? Or do you just don't like coconut oil? Like, it's just not your thing. Let me know in the comments below, because I have a feeling that somebody's going to tell me that they've noticed the same thing too. Oh, and I also wanted to tell you that I started using sesame oil. That's what I use now. My hair loves sesame oil, and it's so rich. It almost has the same thickness and consistency as coconut oil, and my hair loves sesame oil just as much as it loved homemade coconut oil. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ife of Ife368 TV. Remember to subscribe, and see you all in the next one. Ciao.
Subscribe.
My hair is loving that fenugreek hair oil, by the way.